Okay, I am back and have completed the vomit throw up cleaning. So it has been, I got here right at 2:30, 3:30, 4:15, almost 2 hours. The lighting has changed significantly because I've been here that long. So I want to show you the door panel. And I know it was terrible lighting before, but what I want to point out is a couple things. Is one, this is where you can diversify, but please don't rush out and think you're going to try to learn everything. Just learn the basics, then you can move on from there. But what I want to highlight is that this, when it comes to certain specialty areas, this is one of them, because A, you're dealing with a semi-organic material called throw up, so you've got to use the right chemicals. Second, it's liquid, and yes, throw up tends to be also chunky, so you've got to be able to deal with liquid chunks or wet chunks as well as true liquids. And the problem with liquids is people grossly underestimate how far they travel, and they travel, trust me. Gravity works its magic, and it just, when a liquid spills, not only, as I said at the beginning, it will bleed into other areas, but the gravity will continue to pull downwards. So every step of this cleanup, I had to dissect it and break it down from the window itself, because they rolled the window down, which meant that it got all over the window. This gasket in here, because it not only dripped down between that gasket and the window is rolling up and down, smearing the vomit on the window itself, I had to dissect this. Some things can be disassembled. I had to disassemble this. Underneath that is a screw, as well as vomit. Inside here there's a lip. Down deep inside here there's a lip. So every area, and like this button, you push it down and it exposes some areas, and then you pull it up and exposes some areas. So really, this type of liquid spill is the height of detailing. It is the height of awareness in trying to dissect and look at every nuance. So you've got this seam here, you've got this seam under here, you've got this seam that you may not look like a seam at first, but in fact it is an actual seam that you can wedge open, and vomit was in there, baking soda was in there, so that has to be clean. And then as it drips down, it goes down underneath to the gasket of the door. It just goes on and on. Whoops, sorry about that. So some areas you can disassemble, like this plate I was able to take off. Vomit bled into and underneath this. I pulled this B, it's the AB, yeah, this would be the B pillar. I pulled this off. I had to undo the rubber grommet there that exposed a screw. Once I took the threshold plate off, it exposed the vomit underneath, and then it exposed the vomit that had seeped up underneath here. You've got this area that is, you've got, well, first you've got leather, and then you've got all these little perforations. That's a nightmare. Then the leather transitions into this fabric, so vomit had gotten in there. So you literally have to dissect every piece of it. I can remove this housing. Vomit was in the track. It was not only in this main track, but it was in this track. It was wedged up underneath here. I mean, it just goes on and on. Never mind the seatbelt. It had gotten on the seatbelt. And then it wedges down up underneath here. So some of these areas you have to push, you have to pull, you take them apart. It really is the height of awareness and details. But as I've said in many of my videos, I love a challenge. I love to problem solve. And this represents one of those moments where you truly have to be a detective, and you just got to examine. It's like taking a painted ball, and you just keep spinning it and turning it and looking at it in different lighting, different angles, and you just have to do that with the car. in order to really dissect it and just get the details right. So with all that said, how's that for a specialized area of detailing?